Hi, I actually call myself Head of Partnerships because for me that's what my work is all about. One of the first training courses that I ever went on was a negotiation course, and here we were taught the kind of central tenet of all good negotiation was about win-win. And I've tried to kind of hold that throughout my career in all the partnerships that I've worked on, all the business deals, that everybody comes out of them feeling that they got something out of it and it was the right thing for them to go into. But in this partnership, there's actually 3 of us in this marriage that I want to talk about. Luckily, a slightly happier threesome than others, but there are 3 partners to discuss. So the first one is Oxfam. And Oxfam had a real problem in about 2008, and that was that they identified that they weren't getting sufficient quality of clothing into their stores. They were getting a lot of ripped, poor quality clothing, and that meant they weren't getting the right customers in either. And bearing in mind, over 80% of Oxfam's income comes from the shops that it sells stuff through, and about a third of that is from clothes. It was really important for them to get good quality clothing and regular customers that were happy to wear that and charge a premium for that clothing. And that's where the second partner comes in. There's a real consumer need. Each household has around £4,000 worth of clothing sitting in a wardrobe, and only 30% of that has been worn in the last year. I don't know if any of you are like me, but sadly I've got pre-children clothes, post-children clothes. The times I was really stressed and got really thin, and it was fantastic clothes. Then I've got the clothes I bought because I thought they'd be handy and I'd wear them a lot, and I've never worn them at all. And the sad thing is 31% of these clothes end up in landfill. 31%. That's a value of about £10 billion worth of clothing thrown away every year. And if that could be recycled, if it could be reused for just 3 months, then they reckon the carbon waste and water footprint would reduce by around 10%. That's the significant impact, just 3 months extra use of that clothing. And on top of that, you've also got consumers saying, do you know what? We will wear second-hand clothes, we will shop in places like Oxfam, but only if the items are good quality enough. So you've got Oxfam wanting good quality items, consumers wanting to get rid of good quality items, and consumers wanting to buy good quality items from outlets like Oxfam. And that's where the third partner comes in, hopefully. Yeah, Marks and Spencer's. Marks and Spencer's are the third of my glorious trio, and Marks and Spencer's were very, very keen to deliver what they term Plan A. Plan A is their ambition for the 350 million items of clothing they sell every year, that at least one item is recycled for every item bought. It's a really big and very, very ambitious plan, but it very much fits in with their business ethos, which is about being one of the UK's most trusted retail brands, and also about driving footfall. This is a commercial organisation, and make no bones about it, they want to get people in their stores, they want to charge a premium for their products, and they want to be able to do that because they've got great brand values. And they wanted to work and partner up with Oxfam, who they're already in discussions with, because Oxfam had been talking to them about how to improve their supply chain, how to make sure that the clothing they sold was ethically and fairly sourced. And that's what came about, the idea that I really wish I'd thought of, which is swapping. And not just because I've got a slight girl crush on Joanna Lumley, who we all admit she is absolutely awesome. The reason I wish I'd thought of shopping is because actually swapping is really, really simple. Swapping is basically aiming to change consumer behaviour. It's aiming to make recycling and reusing and buying second-hand clothing something that we're all really comfortable with and we're all really happy to do. To the extent that, rather like people using plastic bags, now people are quite happy to reuse plastic bags or carry around a reusable one. Whereas you think even 5 years ago that would have been quite alien behaviour. Whereas M&S, Oxfam and consumers are also saying this is something we want to do. So basically swapping works in 2 ways. You can either take your unwanted items into any Oxfam store, and if one of them's from M&S, you get a £5 voucher, great for M&S, drives footfall. Or you can take your items directly into M&S, one of their 703 stores, and you basically can take in any brand, any item, anything you like, and M&S will recycle it for you. And shopping is really quite that simple. And what it does is it actually means that all of those items of clothing will be reused or recycled in some way. Firstly, they'll go to Oxfam stores. If they're there for about 3 weeks and they haven't been sold, they get sent out to developing countries where they help drive local projects. And these local projects are absolutely amazing. If anybody, seen them, I haven't got time to show a really long video clip, but it was really good. If you do want to go and have a look. It means that people are able to work for organisations where they are paid a fair wage, where they get housing funds, where they get pensions, where they get a regular source of income, and also where they're very supportive environments. One worker who works is a woman called Ibiatu, who says that her wage means that her 8-year-old daughter can actually go to school. And for her, it says, here is like a second family. It is very supportive. It helps us forget some of our problems because life is hard in Dakar. And you imagine the impact that it has, that for them, they get this stuff that is just otherwise sitting in wardrobes, and it can transform lives and it can transform communities. And on top of that, so if it goes to M&S, if it goes to Oxfam, it doesn't work there, it goes to be recycled. If it goes to be resold, if it's not good enough to be resold, finally, it can be recycled. You can now buy a whole suit and a coat which is 100% recycled. And that is the difference that Schwapping has made. And the result, has it been a result from a fundraising perspective? Has it actually raised any money? With the 3.8 million items donated, they estimate it's raised around £2.3 million. That's enough to fund the whole of the Nepal programme for Oxfam. That's 200,000 people who face regularly natural disasters, being able to be supported, prepared for those natural disasters, or helped when they're at risk of losing their livelihoods, their homes, and sometimes even their lives. That's the difference that Schwapping has made. And if it hadn't gone there, it would have ended up here, in landfill. So you've taken something that was nothing, and what you've actually done is created opportunity, and you've created livelihood. So for me, Schwapping is brilliant, because I said in my first slide, for me, partnerships are about win-win. This is a bit more Mormon than I was aiming for, but it's win-win-win-win. You've got everything going on. You've got people here and abroad. You've got Marks and Spencers, you've got Oxfam, and you've got the planet. And finally, I think actually we can't afford not to Schwap. We need to change our behaviours. I genuinely really believe in this. This is a brilliant idea. I wish I had thought of it, because it meets a consumer need, which all great ideas do. It raises funds, it helps a great retailer, and it helps other retailers realise they need to be better, and it helps the planet, and it changes consumer behaviour. It makes lasting, impactful and innovative change. And what it does with that lasting, impactful and innovative change is give other people opportunity, second chances, and the support that they desperately, desperately need at times in their life when organisations like Oxfam are the only ones that are there for them. So that's why I wish I'd thought of Schwapping.